So let's raise a toast to crossover events because this week they did a crossover with Lower Decks and it was a lot of fun. Like I didn't anticipate this. I wasn't paying attention that this was coming in the pipeline. So this was a genuine surprise to me because I've just been going kind of week to week with Strange New Worlds and I try not to watch any of the preview clips that they put out on social media because I just want to watch the show. It's a great show. I've been having a lot of fun with it. And this was another really good episode of the week kind of format. Although I will say once again, it's the most overused trope in like all of Star Trek, and that is time travel because this episode is all about the time travel. Which it's okay. I mean, when they do it in a way that is fun and entertaining, it's not that big of a deal. But the storyteller in me always like I want to twitch a little bit when they when they keep throwing time travel at all these episodes because it's definitely a trope within Star Trek to the point where they recognize immediately what happens in this. You'll see. We'll get into it. I don't want to spoil it before the fold. So this is where I say if you've never watched one of my reviews before, go watch the episode first because I don't do spoiler free. This is going to be full of spoilers. Even though I am always trying my hardest, I sometimes spoil things before the fold. But I think I'm good this week. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it yet. Countdown is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're good to go. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. And I'm really stuffy this morning. I apologize, guys. It's going to be one of those allergy days. So, this was a comedy episode and crossover with Lower Decks. We've got, is it Jack Quaid? He's Dennis Quaid's son. And I think it's Dennis Quaid's and Meg Ryan's son. And he's phenomenal in The Boys. His character in The Boys is really good. I had no idea that he was playing the character in Lower Decks. Bromley, I think is the name of the character. I don't intimately follow Lower Decks, which may be one of the reasons why. I've caught episodes here and there, but it's not one of the ones that I regularly watch, which I probably should. The opening sequence of this episode is great because it's all the Lower Decks stuff cast. And they're researching this portal and talking about their past faves, like Spock and Una and Uhura and everything else. And they go to this portal and they're doing stuff with it and they go to take a picture. It activates the portal and Romulus gets transferred through to the other side and he shows up in real life and suddenly he's with his heroes. And it was great to see um, him stretching his feet that way. Because I've really only know him from The Boys. It's Jack Quaid, right? I need to maybe double check the name of. Yeah, Jack Quaid. I had to double check, guys. I want to make sure I'm not getting his name wrong. So, he shows up and now he's in the timeline and the real world, so to speak, of Captain Pike and the rest of the crew, who are also in that area on that planet researching the portal. And so he has future knowledge, and the whole episode is sort of, overshadowed with that fact. So everything he's doing is trying to get back to his reality without messing anything up. And along the way, we meet these Orions who, in his future, are part of Starfleet now and have scientists and everything else. But in this timeline, they're only known for being pirates. And he has to help negotiate that scenario while at the same time negotiating all of the personal relationships on the ship and the things he knows about all of their futures and letting things slip here and there by accident to the point where Captain Pike starts to get kind of frustrated with him even though he's like a fawning fanboy. um, and then as the episode progresses they think they're about to go send him back through the portal and then his sort of fun dampening companion from the future also joins him. I don't know the name of her character, but she's the rule stickler, so to speak. And now she's here, and so now there's two of them. And as they start to try to figure out how to get things back in order, they just make things worse to the point where Pike is going to put them in jail and just put them on lockdown and dump them off at Starbase One. But ultimately, there is a resolution here in the sense that they come together and they find a way to show Captain Pike and the rest of the crew that the Orions aren't meant to be feared, that that the science vessel that's here is indeed friendly, and they're trying to turn the opinions of what people think about Orions around, and this is a starting point for that. Um, and by the end of the episode, they negotiate a really cool um, What's up, everybody? Quick commercial break here to give it a shout out to our guild champions, who are the highest tier memberships here on YouTube: Ancient Entity, Assassin Gamer 94, Bubbleonia Rising, Crazy's Relative, Mujin, and Remedy. Thanks so much for the highest tier membership. And thanks to all of the members who support the channel, because you keep me doing this full time. You too can become a supporter if you're new here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Join as a member. There's 3 different tiers. We do lots of special stuff, private polls, private videos. You get a shout out if you're the highest tier membership, but you can also do one-off donations in the form of super chats on any live stream or premiere you see, and of course super thanks on any upload or YouTube short. Whatever you can contribute, it's great. Keeps me on the air full time, keeps the cats fed, keeps the homestead running. Anyway, back to the video, everybody. Agreement with the Orion science vessel, if they, to take the portal and take the credit for everything, and let that be the first moment showing that they are, in fact, some of them can be scientists, and not all of them are pirates. So it was a really cool sort of quirky way to get to that. But I think the funnest part of this episode was all of the interpersonal stuff that was going on, because at almost every point in this episode, you've got moments where his character's interacting with Spock or Chapel or Pike or Una as examples. And these are all things that he's looked up to. And I think one of the funniest things about this whole episode was when his friend gets transported back in time too. She tells Una that he's got a poster of her up in his bunk, and she immediately assumes that she's like, "What? Do you mean like a pinup poster?" And there's this moment where she's all freaked out by it. And by the end of the episode, we realize that no, what's actually is the case is she's the face of the recruitment. Uncle Sam wants you. Like, Una becomes the face of recruitment for Starfleet and for Federation, and the Ad Astra phrase on her poster and everything else. And once she realizes that, oh, okay, so yeah, that's a different type of poster. But it was really funny watching all that play out, and also a little bit of the sadness with Chapel as she realizes that the future Spock um, doesn't display any emotions anymore, and the Spock that she has right now is being very emotional. And whether it's a phase or not, she hadn't really slowed down to think about how it might be just a phase, a fling for him. And so there is some emotional stuff that happens that ties into the overarching story and architecture of what they've been building with Strange New Worlds. But this is absolutely a standalone episode, because by the end of it, they're back through the portal and back to lower decks, and we're off to whatever is next week's mission with the Enterprise. And I, for one, can't wait. This was probably an 8 out of 10. It was a solid episode. It felt good in all the right places, a little over the top cheesy in some areas, which is probably the only reason I would bring it down. The VFX shots were, as always, absolutely stunning. Great fun all around. Looking forward to next week's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, folks, so that you can always get updated when I got a new video that's live or a new live stream. Until next week, stay safe. Happy viewing.